What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, tigerfitness.com. I want to say I was wrong. I was wrong in stating that we should prevent biological men from playing female sports. And here's the reason I was wrong. I'm not a female. I'm not a female. I don't know what it's like to be a female. I don't need to worry about female sports. And also with my daughter not playing soccer anymore, I really don't have the personal vested interest in caring. And I say this because women don't seem to care. They just don't seem to care. These female athletes who are getting obliterated by these biological males who now identify as females. You can identify as what you want to identify as. But there's rules in competition, and there are differences. Look, man, before I get started, I want to give a shout out to Riley Gaines. She puts a lot of effort. Now, she was a swimmer, and she actually went through the downsides of competing against biological males. And these are biological males who would suck as males. Take that for what it means. They would suck as males, so they compete against females. It has nothing to do with them being female or identifying as female. At the end of the day, if they were good enough to compete against males, and they were good enough to win against males, they would compete against males. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. By the way, go to tigerfitness.com now and be sure to get all of our awesome supplements, including MTS Nutrition Immortal, the greatest multivitamin pack ever created, and of course your outright bars. Support this channel, go to tigerfitness.com now. But they're not, they compete against females. It is what it is. I used to have an issue with it, but again, like, I'd be sexist to think that I need to mansplain what women need to think. So, about 3 years ago, this thing started popping off about women's sports being infiltrated or invaded by biological men. And I was very outspoken about it. I did videos, I made tweets at the time, which are now posts on X. And I actually had a large retailer that does millions and millions of dollars a year with us threaten to pull our brand from their stores if I don't stop talking about it. And I didn't stop talking about it. So writing's on the wall with what happened there. Right? So, long story short, like, we're in a situation where I spoke up and I'm being censored. And I said, no, I'm not being censored. It's the right thing to do. So I'm putting my paycheck, putting my butt on the line for something I have no skin in the game unless my children have my grandchildren, which happen to be female. I have old dudes. At the end of the day, maybe Thomas isn't good at wrestling dudes and we can just make him a girl and he's a state champion. Maybe that's our play. It just opens the door for us to win, right? I would never do that. So if these women are standing on the podium, proud of being second, third, fourth, and fifth place against a biological male who would get completely obliterated by other biological males, and these are not fully transitioned males. These are just simply males who sometimes don't even put on a wig, sometimes don't even put on lipstick, sometimes don't even shave. You have men putting on women's clothes, participating in women's sports, obliterating females. I've done too many videos about why that occurs, from bone density to the Q angle of the hips, to even intranatal testosterone while you're in the womb. As you develop into a male, you develop male characteristics, give you benefits. So just giving a child or a teenager hormone blockers still does not eradicate the benefits you have from being a biological male. It's called chromosomes. And the chromosomes are different. The genetics are different. Everything's different. Yet because we don't want to hurt a small percentage of population, by the way, somehow is growing. Somehow there's more transgender people now than there were 5 years ago and 10 years ago and 20 years ago. I'm thinking more nurture than nature, but hey, I'm not a biologist. I'm not a scientist. Who am I to comment on if that's the fact or if it's just nature is producing more people who are transgender? I'm not one to say that. That's not on me to make that assumption. So I'm going to go by what women want. So a big argument is women do not need to be fighting this fight. And these are it's like, well, women are naturally just going to take it. Women aren't the fighters. Men need to stick up for women. If that's the case, then women should not be voting. We need to repeal the 19th Amendment right now, immediately. If women are too weak and stupid to fight their own battles, why are we letting them vote? You see who they voted for last election, right? Look at our country now. We have anyway, that's besides the point. Look, man, I think women should vote. I do. Women have every right to vote. I think women should be CEOs. I think women should be able to do everything that men should do. But when it comes to sport and physical competition, there is a difference. When it comes to serving in the military and having certain physical requirements, mentally, men and women, I will put it this way. The strongest business people I have ever worked with are women. Women are astounding at business. They are so good. They add these qualities and values that men don't have. Not saying men aren't good CEOs. I'm amazing. But women, again, it doesn't mean they're like every CEO runs it differently. Every leader leads differently. Women can be leaders. We're talking about feats of strength. When we're talking about track, when we're talking about football, we're talking about soccer, we're talking about wrestling, we're talking about all those things that require those intangibles that are biologically innate to us. We can't have this. But I'm wrong, because women want it. Women want this. I will gladly join arm in arm with every single female who stands up to this. If women decide to boycott, if women want to start their own league, which sounds absurd, where men are not allowed to compete in it, then I am all for it. Unfortunately, women don't want it. As a whole, women vote for the things that we are sounding off against. Women vote for these politicians who are all for destroying women's sports in the name of equality. Well, I see it as the patriarchy is winning. Not only are men winning at women's sports, most of the times they join, and they're not even trying to be women. I mean, these are either the ugliest women ever. Well, they're not women, let's be real, but they're not even trying. They're not even shaving. They still have like things. They're not transition. It is what it is. And they're winning. But women don't seem to mind. They're standing there smiling with their second, third, and fourth place medals. So I'm done. Women are equal to men. They are. In most ways. In physical ways, in sport, not so much. SAT, ACT, education, we can't argue that mentally and from an intelligence standpoint, from a work standpoint, from a workplace standpoint, women are phenomenal and probably better than men at a lot of things as a whole. Not in obviously individuals, there's outliers, there's all that stuff, but women run stuff. Best people I've ever worked with a lot of them have been women. But to say that women can play baseball instead of softball with men, they're not. There's so much more money in Major League Baseball. If these great softball players could play Major League Baseball with men, don't you think they would? You don't see women crossing over and swimming against Michael Phelps. It's always the other way around. But women seem to be okay with it. In the name of wokeness and not hurting anybody's feelings, we are devolving as a society and letting the patriarchy take over women's sports. To that I say, great. I'm a man. Let's go. It just helps me, right? So if I can, with a DEI company, if I can go and say that I am a female and they are offering, let's say they are only letting products into a retailer from a minority owned business or oppressed group business, an underrepresented group. And all I have to do as a white male who is heterosexual, allegedly, all I have to do is say that I'm a female, and maybe I could be transracial now. I'm a black lesbian female. That only benefits me. Why am I fighting someone else's fight? Humanity isn't about what's just anymore. It's about survival. And right now, the way we're going, we're not going to survive. So I say, women, if you want this to end, it's pretty simple. Boycott. If there is a team in town to play your high school and it has a dude on it and it's girls basketball, you refuse to play. And then, they'll kick us out. Okay. Then you go to the other school and say, hey, you guys need to refuse to play too. And if they don't do it, then you know what? Women deserve it. we will have men dominating women's sports. And I'm done. Like, I've already risked and lost enough. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm done. I'm over it. I'm just going to sit back and LOL. What am I going to do? It really sucks, man. But now that I don't have a daughter playing, why? Why am I going to go in? Like, why? Why would I don't know, man. What do you guys think, man? I don't know, man. I want to help. I don't think it's right. But I'm not, like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we do. Maybe if I feel like a woman tomorrow, like I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I'm a female, I should be able to play women's sports. I should be able to join a master's women's powerlifting league, and I'll probably lose. But I mean, you know what I mean? Like, that just doesn't make sense. There's no litmus test. I mean, that's why we were going off earlier about, what was it? I think it was powerlifting, or no, it was USA Boxing, where they were like, well, you have to have, I think it was like 5 years of transitioning and then 5 years after. That's like 10 years. By then, the athlete went from 20 to 30 or 30 to 40, and their career is done anyway. So USA Boxing did it right. They said, all right, we're going to let y'all in, but you have to do this. You have to get shit chopped off. You have to do everything. Like, but to just say that a 17-year-old female or a 20-year-old college runner can just wake up one morning after competing last season as a dude, say, I'm a chick, let's go. And then if I say anything, I'm transphobic or racist, which they're white, I don't understand. Yeah, okay, cool. Whatever, you do it. You do you. Let women's sports die. Don't care. Now, I will care if women actually, man, this might be really weird to say, might actually grow a pair, which apparently we could do now, might actually grow a pair and fight this. But a lot of people might say, why are you talking about this on Tiger Fitness? Well, Tiger Fitness is a fitness channel. Fitness includes sport. And this is a great topic. Let me know your thoughts anyway. I'm Marc Lobliner. That's not a game.